achieve. So we're trying to say early in the strategy process, the founders, the top management teams, possibly with contribution of the board, will likely work on statements. We call them strategy statements. They will likely work on strategy statements in the early part of their journey as they develop strategy. Hence, our textbook spends a lot of time unpacking these statements in chapter 1. So this is likely to come in early on the journey. If a business itself has already been established, is in existence, the business or any type of organization, these statements are then reviewed on a regular basis, maybe once or twice a year, as part of the strategy review process. But definitely for a new organization, one of the first things that the founders will come up with is as a vision statement. So there are many other statements that go with the vision, but definitely maybe let's focus a bit on the vision. The vision statement, as I said earlier, is about that one big thing, that ambition that you want to, that one big thing you want to achieve. Basically, your one day. What is our one day as a business? And the vision statement is interesting because it's normally a very short and sharp statement. Almost half a sentence, if you are pushing it, full sentence, but not more than that. Colleagues, when it comes to the statements, we are going to give you the best practice. I'm saying best practice because a number of businesses, organizations, they get these things wrong. I don't blame them because some of them have not had exposure to a PDPA, MBA type of journey. So they have their own ways of doing these things. But from an academic point of view, we are going to give you a sort of a criteria in terms of what each statement should be about and what it should be and what should go into it. So the vision statement should be fairly short and sharp. It's a statement that is fluffy. It's fluffy. It's a statement that must be easy to remember. You might ask me, Mzoho, who is the audience for the vision statement? I can tell you now, the number one audience for the vision statement is employees. The entire staff group is the number one audience for the vision statement. You are using this statement to galvanize and energize your employees. You are selling a dream, comrades, to the employees. I'm saying it's a dream because most vision statements are never attained. Something like 85% of organizations never achieve their vision statement or what their vision is. And there's nothing wrong with that because that statement is there to energize us. That statement is there to allow us to dream. That statement is there to allow us to be ambitious. And chances are, whatever we have in the vision statement, it's something that we might never achieve. Isn't that interesting? For example, if you look at the big banks across the whole continent, there's plus minus 35, 40 large banks on our continent. Almost all of those banks have got a very similar vision statement. It goes like this: to be the biggest bank in Africa. Some will say to be the largest bank in Africa, to be the most admired bank in Africa. Those kinds of statements. Will all these 35 banks be the biggest one day? Possibly not. And the executive teams in those organizations are not too concerned about that. They know that this is something we might never achieve. And they got it right from a technical point of view. The vision vision must be something big, something bigger than us. That one thing we want to be one day. Whether we'll get there or not, it's a conversation for another day. But as a management team, we are going to use this statement to energize our employees. Hence, it's important for the statement to be easy to remember. I can tell you, I'm not going to be energized by something I can't even articulate. So make sure that the statement is simple enough for the employees to remember it. If they remember it, chances are they will be energized by it. So talk to me about your own organizations, maybe one or two people. What have you seen? Do you remember the vision statement of your organization? Does it meet our high-level criteria in terms of being short, memorable, and also having that element of energizing us and also expressing an ambition or something bigger than all of us? Does that statement allow us to dream? So talk to me. I saw someone coming in and disappearing. I think it was Jesse. Jesse, let me put you on the spotlight. Did you have something to share earlier?
Oh, yes. No, it was actually a question.
Yes. Come in with it, man.
So I was going to ask, getting feedbacks.
Okay, let me mute then.
All right. So I was going to ask, can a vision be time measured? Like, because you said, I think you mentioned, doesn't matter even until we get there. So can it be time measured?
Yes. The answer is yes, it can be. So in some organizations, the statement itself has got a date. For example, something as silly as to be the biggest bank in Africa by 2030, something like that. I know for us as a country, we have the so-called Vision 2030, which is supported by a very high-level plan in terms of what we want to do, what we want to see going to 2020 as a country. So yeah, it can be time measured, but you don't have to. You are allowed to be very fluffy and high level and not really mention a date in terms of when you want to see whatever that is that you are looking for. Oh, by the way, guys, interesting, hey, some organizations, as soon as they feel that they are too close to achieving their vision, they quickly call an emergency EXCO and come up with a new vision statement because they are clear on that the vision statement must remain aspirational. That's the key element also of the vision statement. It must be aspirational in nature. Tikonelo, I know you came in a bit earlier. Come in.
Thanks, Mzo. I actually, Jesse asked the question that I wanted to ask, but I want to follow up with an example. If you look at Japanese organizations, their vision statements are quite long. I mean, some will go even like 250 years ahead. I mean, what is reasonable? That's why I get lost. Like if you look at Samsung, if you look at their vision statement, it's the longevity, it's beyond the lifetime of the Keiretsu, the board, and the management. So, I mean, how practical is that?
Yeah. So remember what we said. We said as a class, let's discuss the best practice or the good practice, and let's also be open to criticizing what is being done out there. But while we're criticizing, let's also understand that some people have no exposure to this type of sessions and conversations. They do things their own way without considering the academic views on some of these things. So I'm trying to say, let's criticize, but let's not be too critical when it comes to these elements, like strategy elements. Okay, so my view is when it comes to the vision statement by nature is very long term. You can't come to me and talk to me about a vision statement that speaks about tomorrow or next year or next week or whatever. The vision statement normally goes for a number of years, to say in 5 years, in 10, in 15, 20 years time, we would like to be this, we would like to be that, and so on and so on. And guys, always keep the statement short. So I know there are many examples out there where the statements are very long. I can give you my own company examples. I know you might have yours, but all I want is for us to keep the principles, the academic best practice principles. The vision statement must be as short as possible so that it can be easily remembered, especially by employees. Of course, other stakeholders are also important, clients and others, in terms of understanding our vision. But in the main, number one audience is the employees. Others come after. I hope I've at least indirectly addressed your question. I know I didn't go direct, but I hope I have touched your question a bit, Tigonello, there. Okay, great, colleagues. So that was the vision statement, and you're going to get an opportunity later as a class to critique a statement of an organization of your choice. I hope your chosen business has communicated their vision statement somewhere, maybe on their website or whatever. Have a look at it, copy and paste it to the template and criticize it. That exercise will take you 20 minutes. One of my groups, I think it was group 6, has already done it. So it's fine. They can have coffee or tea during that time, or do something else. I'll give you 2 exercises. They might want to do the second one. Other groups might have also done it. I don't know. But definitely I'm going to allocate time today for critique of the vision statement. Okay, so there's many other statements as part of your so-called first step in strategy. I'm saying first step because you are waking up, you are starting a new business, and I'm advising for you to start maybe some of your earlier thinking on these statements, or the business is already existing and you are in a planning session or strategy review session. I'm arguing early in the morning on day 1, part of the first things you do is to review the statements. So hence this step came in a bit early. It's not only the vision, colleagues. Mission is also a very, very important statement. Mission is basically a statement that is fairly articulate in nature. While I said vision will likely be short, half a sentence, the mission is likely to be way longer than that. It's likely to be a paragraph or 2. If you go more than 2 paragraphs, you are pushing it, okay? You are pushing it. It's not advised. We're saying to you today, managers, executives, please keep it at either a paragraph or 2 paragraphs. What goes into those 2 paragraphs? It's a lot, right? But at the heart of it, you are basically expressing the mandate of the organization. What mandate have we set for ourselves, or what mandate has been set for us by someone else? For example, government departments, SOEs, their mandate might be set by higher powers in government. So that mandate will be articulated in the mission statement. To simplify it, mission is basically about why do we exist? Why do we exist? What are we trying to do, and all of that. But in the heart of it is why. Colleagues, I'm hoping you have pen and paper, because this is going to take forever. Make notes, guys. That's my advice. Make notes on this one. The mission statement covers a lot. To simplify it, the mission statement addresses a number of questions. The first question it addresses, and this flows nicely if you can structure it nicely. You can start with any of the questions, but try and follow the way we're going to give the questions. The first question that is covered by a mission statement is who, WHO, who are we? Who are we as an organization? So you have to find a very simple way, a simple and short way of introducing the organization in the mission statement. Who are we? That's the first part. you might want to address. The second part you might want to address is what? What do we do? What do we provide? In other words, your products, your services, and whatever else you do for your targeted audience. What do we do? That's the second question. The third question you might want to address in your mission statement is the how. Oh, guys, this one is quite critical. How? How do we do it? So in how do we do it, you can add elements like the resources that we have, the activities that we get involved in. So the how allows you to build and articulate differentiation. How different are we, in other words, to our peers in the industry? So the how is quite important in terms of selling the organization. This is how we do things. You might speak, for example, about innovation. You might speak about quality in our products and our services. You might speak about how we tap into our experiences, and so on and so on and so on, right? So the how is quite critical. It adds elements of the resources issue, elements of the capabilities and the competencies issue. All of those things go into the how. But in the main, the how is there to showcase and really differentiate how we do things, possibly versus our competitors. Colleagues, we have covered 3 questions so far. One is who we are. Second one, what we do. Third one, how we do it. I'll give you more questions. By the way, not all mission statements cover these questions, all these questions. So you don't really have to cover all of them, but from an academic point of view, we raise these questions to say, when you craft a mission statement, think about these questions. Guys, you have done strategy now. You are in this module. So you will be expected to assist in your organization or in your own business. So in other words, when I meet you one day and you say to me, Zo, I am starting my own business, I'll say to you, can you please show me your vision, show me your mission and all of that? And I'll expect that you have followed a more academic approach, because it's disciplined and it's good practice, global good practice as well. So 3 questions so far. The first one was who, second one was what, the third one was how. The fourth question is also very important. It is the why itself. Why do we exist? Interestingly, the question of purpose, because in a way, why addresses purpose. The issue of purpose has become very pronounced in a lot of organizations globally. It started with organizations in America for some reason. It then moved into Europe and other parts of the world, Asia as well. And I'm starting to see it in Africa as well, where organizations are sort of taking time, are reflecting, and are spending time in clearly articulating the why, our purpose as an organization. Why is purpose important? It's simply because a lot of customer groups are now saying, I will only buy products and services from businesses that are aligned to my values. Businesses that are playing a role in communities where they operate from a development point of view. So we are seeing that organizations are now tweaking their articulation of the why to also speak about what is their role in the community, how are they contributing positively in the community, something that was not really there. Hey? If you can Google mission statements from 10 years ago, way different to mission statements of today. Mission statements of today are spending time unpacking the role of the organization in the community. I'm also seeing that some organizations are having a separate statement called the purpose statement, basically stolen from the mission. So they will have the mission, which is very long, and also purpose, which is very short, like 1 sentence. Okay, so I hope you guys are following. Why do we exist, and what is our role in the communities where we operate? Very important. The issue of purpose is part of addressing the why. 4 questions so far. I'm sure you are following. 4 questions. Who are we? What do we do? How do we do it? And now the 4th question, which is The why. Interestingly, another question that comes in is another who. But this time around, the who is about our targeted audience. Who are we targeting? So in the who we are targeting, you speak about the kind of segments you serve. You don't have to speak like a marketer in the statement, but you find a high-level way of giving an idea of the type of markets you are targeting. For example, if you are only targeting small businesses, you might want to find expression of that in the mission statement. Who are we targeting? Who is the customer that we're targeting? You might say all South Africans. Maybe you are someone who is fairly wide in scope. So find a way of giving us an idea of who you are targeting. The where becomes important. Where? Geography, right? Which is part of scope. So talk to us about geography in the mission statement. Maybe you're only focusing on SA, you're only focusing on a certain province, you are focusing on the entire continent, or you are global. So the where also must be expressed in the mission statement. Okay, colleagues, that was quite a lot to take in. I want to check with you now. Are you comfortable with what goes into the mission statement? Are you now comfortable in terms of why the mission is so long? Now you know the reason, right? That a lot goes into it. Talk to me about your observations. Has your organization where you work or the business you run, have they got this right? Because I've seen organizations where there's confusion. The vision is the longest. It's like 10 pages. And then the mission is like one sentence. So, oh, someone must do an PTBA up. In some organization, we must phone them, a reception, and say, hey, you got the mission statement wrong. Can you please send 1 or 2 people to Vets Business School MBA or PTBA? And there must be in Mzo's class, not any other class, for them to get these statements right. Nishanta, do you want to share your experiences or your observations?
Hi, Mzo.
Yes.
So in our organization, we actually we have a vision statement that actually lasts every 5 years. So it's kind of revamped. So, you mentioned that things could change. And every year it's about evolving or innovating the business to the next level.
Yeah.
So from a vision perspective, but we also have a purpose. We also have a part to purpose.
Oh, you've articulated the purpose statement.
Yeah, and it's to like our vision and our mission. So it's quite interesting because, like the way you've positioned it to us, and like the organization I come from, we have all of those things covered, or all of that is part of our, what is at our core, which is like driven by certain things as well.
Nice. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And Nishanta, do you remember what the vision statement is? Can you say it loud for us?
Yeah, well, ours is it's basically to be the international retail marketing solutions company on a global perspective, because we are a global company, but it's about increasing our footprint.
And the company's name is?
Smollen, the Smollen Group.
Okay, nice. Thank you so much, Nishanta, for sharing something very practical there. Colleagues, I hope everyone is following. I hope everyone is excited, because I am excited. I love these statements. Let's have a look quickly at my case. So again, guys, Standard Bank, don't be tired of these guys, because I'm going to keep mentioning them. I spent 13 and a half years, guys, of my time at Standard Bank. 13 and a half years. I could have been anywhere else, so I'm going to talk about them. 13 and a half years, comrades. Okay, so I stole this out of their latest annual report. Look at the vision. The vision is to be the leading financial services organization in Africa. Duh, everyone has got that same vision. For and across Africa, delivering exceptional client experiences and superior value. That is the vision of Standard Bank. Let me tell you guys, I am not happy with this vision. I like certain elements, but overall, I'm not happy. Can someone help me? Why am I not happy? Why is Mzo not happy? Why is Mzo not happy with this vision? What could be the problem? Yes, it's Nobile.
It's too long, Mzo. The employees won't be able to remember it.
That's it. That's it. That's the only reason I'm not happy with this statement. This thing should have stopped after organization to be the leading financial services organization in Africa. Done. So that every Joe, every Nomsa, every Susan in the organization can easily remember the statement. The guys at the branch, the guys at the call center, and other spaces. Okay, interestingly, they also have a purpose statement, and I did say it's obviously stolen from their mission. Their mission is on their website. The purpose is Africa is our home. We drive her growth. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Look at the creativity. Look at the creativity that went into that. So I'm trying to say the purpose statement tends to have a lot of creativity. Also, we are fighting for memory, for our customers to remember it and for our staff to remember it. The purpose statement is mainly targeted at the external audiences, including customers and other stakeholders, regulators, governments, but also our staff. But our staff is like number 2, number 3, definitely external audiences. So it must be a simple statement as well, and bring in as much creativity to that as you can. Africa is our home. We drive her growth. So you can easily see that element of expressing what the organization does for its communities. I heard a voice earlier. There was someone who wanted to share something. It was a man voice. If I can say that.
So I was saying I spent also a year at Standard Bank, and I used to love this. Africa is our home, and we drive her growth.
Yes, Pilar, beautiful. But Pilar, have you noticed that you can easily confuse what each statement is for? You can easily confuse the purpose with the vision or with the slogan and payoff line.
True.
Yes. So we like in that I'm wearing an academic space and my academic hat, so I know exactly where that statement will be their purpose. That one is their vision. That one is their sort of a marketing statement, marketing what do you call it? A slogan or payoff line. Their new payoff line is "It can be." It can be. Can are you here? Can I put you on the spotlight? Okay, is my former colleague. Sure, man. Are you under flu or something?
I think it's just one of those times where your batteries and your energy levels are starting to slowly deplete. But I'm good.
Understand? Yeah, I don't know. Afternoons are not easy, but I'm hoping that I'm able to keep you guys awake. Their new payoff line is "It can be." It can be. Kaylee, one day let's have a quick Zoom coffee session for you to talk to me about what "it can be" means. I am still to understand its meaning. So all I'm saying is, for your business, for your organization, when you observe other organizations, be able to differentiate between these statements, because they can easily confuse people, especially when you add the marketing statements, campaign statements, payoff lines to the mix. People can easily get confused, including your own employees, by the way.
Absolutely. Sure, Mson. Anytime.
Yeah. So thanks, Kelly. So these statements need a very strong internal communication effort in terms of promoting them internally, so that your staff, as the brand ambassadors, can fully understand these statements and not confuse them. Because if they are confused, your staff members will go out and confuse your customers. Karapo, come in.
Thanks, Mzo. Yeah, I'm just echoing what you just said now. So I work for a global company, and having a simple, straightforward mission, it makes it easier for it to filter across the globe.
Yes. Yes, and by the way, Karabo, and our colleagues, the mission statement is more like an advert for the organization. In the B2B space, when we go out and look for a supplier and so on, we might go to the website, read the mission statement. So you have to get it right. It must be powerful, interesting to read, because we see the mission statement as an advert for the organization.
Absolutely.
So very important. Yeah, very important to get the mission right. Okay, colleagues, let's see what other statements I can cover for you quickly. Values, guys. Values are important in their own right. Values are statements that give an idea in terms of the behaviors that we expect, especially from employees, management, and everyone else who is inside the business. So values statements must also be short in nature. If you want to tell a story, have a document, maybe a table. On the left, you have a short value statement. On the right, you then unpack what that means. For example, respect. Respect is a very common value statement, but it can be interpreted in many ways. Respect in an organization in SA versus one in China, versus one in Nigeria, in Kenya, in Afghanistan. I can tell you, the people in those countries will likely interpret the word respect in their own ways, right? So you want to have maybe one or two sentences that articulate what each statement means in the context of our organization. But the statements themselves must be very short, like a one word statement, and also don't go for 6 and more in terms of your value statements. We're saying to organizations, the magic number for values is 3. 3 values, maybe 4, if you are really pushing it, 5, but not more than that. Why? Because employees are your targeted audience. You want them to also easily remember the values statements. Some of the common statements, give them to me. Give them to me, guys. Anyone, come in anytime. Just throw. Give me those common values statements or words, those short words, phrases. I gave you one, respect. Give me more.
Integrity.
Authenticity.
Inclusivity.
Excellence.
Excellence is becoming common, guys, in the last 5-7 years. Hey, excellence is becoming common. Yeah. Diversity also becoming common, especially in the SA context. Innovation. Yes. Okay, great. I think you've given me quite a bit, colleagues. Thank you so much. So the interesting thing now about value statements. Remember, guys, earlier we spoke about top down versus bottom up, right? So the interesting thing about values statements is that these must come from employees. Management must allow the employees to contribute on what values statements must be. So a lot of organizations, you find that they call workshops, for example, where colleagues come in and contribute on the value statements. They send out a survey where colleagues can throw in words and all of that. So find ways for the employees to also contribute. Obviously, management will at the end call in an exco meeting and look at the contributions and decide on what to go with. Because remember, management and the board have a better idea of where they want to take the organization and the behaviors they want to see as people implement on the strategy. So yeah, management will finalize it and have the last word, but make sure that employees also contribute. If you do that, employees will have more buy-in into the values. They will leave them in their day-to-day. They will leave those statements in terms of their day-to-day behaviors, and they will take ownership of that as well. So that's the unique story I wanted to share about values. So colleagues, that's it in terms of the key statements. The one I have been throwing in, and you guys should have maybe challenged me and saying, so can you explain that? The one I've been throwing in a lot is the one on objectives. We've spoken about objectives quite a few times, and I want to unpack that for you quickly. The time is 3:20. Guys, correct me if I'm wrong. Is the afternoon session longer than the morning session?
Yes, Mzo. It is.
I thought so, man. I thought so. It's either it's long in terms of fact, or it feels long, but actually it's not long. They're equal. It's one of the two or both. Do you guys agree? It feels long. I don't know, for some reason it feels long. Okay, guys, the time is 15:22. Take a quick health break, and let me see you at 15:30. 8 minutes. Hi, is someone calling me? Hey guys, I've just been reminded on that the session actually ends at 3:30, not 4:30. So in my mind, I thought we're ending at 4:30. Hence, I said earlier the session feels very long. Okay, that was the only reason I said that. I thought it's 4:30, but I've been corrected. This session is supposed to have ended 3 minutes ago. How do you guys feel about that? Any feelings?
Yeah, it's been a long day, so we can do with ending it here.
Yes, comrades.
Remember, we are adult students. We gotta be honest with each other.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you so much. So yeah, we're supposed to end at 3:30. Apologies for the confusion. So in wrapping up, my challenge, maybe it's not even a challenge, it's an appeal, it's a request. The next time the group meets midweek, please spend 15, because this one is only 15 minutes, spend 15 minutes to look at the vision of your selected business, Laduma, and a few others, and think about that vision statement and critique it using the academic global good practice, and use the template you've got in front of you for that, right? So this one will take you only 15 minutes, and I'll get feedback next week, or I'll get feedback on it when I see you guys the week after next. I want to allow Dr. Karen to just focus on her thing, which is external analysis next week. So next week, Doc is going to come in, cover the 2 chapters, chapter 2 and 3. Please make sure to read those 2 chapters before next week, so that your journey can be more enhanced with Dr. Karen next week. So please do your preparatory reading. So yeah, guys, that was it for day 2. Before we end, please entertain 2 minutes. I want to check if there's any questions or comments. Any questions or comments, colleagues? Maybe something you want to clarify before we go? Okay, so next week you're going to meet Dr. Karen formally, and then I'll come in the week after. When I come back, what I'm going to do, there's 1 or 2 things I want to still unpack in this chapter. So I'm going to find a way to start with that without messing up with the flow of the conversations. So there's 1 or 2 things I want to quickly touch on. I will quickly also reflect for 5 minutes. I will reflect on the chapters that Doc would have covered, and I will take any questions you might have after meeting her, after doing reflection work. I will then bring you in and say, is there anything else that she positioned that you might want to ask, or when you did your own reflection, maybe something came in. That's what we're going to do for the first 15 minutes when I see you in the session after next week. So look forward to that. Okay, Nishanta has got a question for us.
Hi, I'm so sorry to find out for this vision exercise. If the vision statement of the company we've selected is not very clear, that answers to the points at the below. So like we've done it based on what was available, but it doesn't specify or give information to the, like the true or false statements there.
That's fine. So remember, there's true or false. So if something is not there, you say no, they don't have it, and then you comment on the space I've given at the bottom, and you might even want to give them a recommendation on what changes must they make on the statement. Guys, by the way, when I say recommendation for the vision statement, I don't mean recommendations for their strategy, just recommendation on in the technical aspects of putting together a vision statement. So you might want to give them some recommendation. You might even want to craft a statement for them. Some of my groups even spend 10 minutes, an extra 10 minutes crafting a statement. Say, hey, Wena, this must be your vision statement, not what you have. So have fun in doing that as well.
Thank you.
Thanks, Shanda. Guys, any other questions before we run? Colleagues, thank you so much. Thanks for the 8 minutes. I always try to be disciplined, finish on time or finish before time. So apologies for the extra 8 minutes. I hope you enjoyed group 2. This is how we roll. We don't come in and overwhelm you with content. You will read the textbook yourself at your own time. For me, it's more about the conversations and keeping the class interactive, if you want, with relevant conversations. So that's how we roll, colleagues. All the best. I will see you in the session after next. I might come in to say hi as well next week, but you will be in the good hands of Dr. Karen Johnson. So thank you very much. See you guys when I see you. Thank you. Keep safe.
I'll see you next week.
Thank you, Mzo.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Dr. Karen.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.嗯，现在有菜了。对，刚才上我课。